Thokozeni, Chamagwini, Lesedihanya, Hotep, Dumelang, Habarigani, Nangadev, Abusheni, Kwaziwai, Kilode, where's Kiloshe? The Yoruba people are going to come for me. Muribanji, how is everybody doing? Thokozeni family, how is everyone doing this full moon evening? I've spoken about the full moon, so I'm not here about that today, but I wanted to talk about something that is really important that just occurred to me. I want us to talk about cleanliness. Now, you all know that our ancestors were super clean beings and they understood the importance of cleanliness. So I want to talk firstly about cleanliness. We've talked about spiritual cleansings. I really want to talk about the cleanliness as in your daily habits in your space. Very important to spirituality. As above, so below. You can't be trying to do spiritual baths and spiritual cleanses. Meanwhile, you are like the kneeless creatures who take a bath in the swimming pool with no soap, no sponge, no nothing. I want to explain the spiritual ramifications of that. I know, guys, please don't take offense. But I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't share with you the things that I know. So I want us to talk first about, please tap the screen. This will let me know whether you guys are hearing me. Somebody's like, I woke up right on time. So, cleanliness. Here is the thing. How many of you are in the nasty habit of going to bed with a sink full of dirty dishes? When you do things like that, when you tell yourself, I'm too tired to clean these dishes, I'm going to bed, if that is a routine and a habit you have, you're going to need to stop it. We have talked about opportunistic, low-frequency entities that are roaming around. Low-frequency entities love the smell of nasty, stale food. Low-frequency entities love the smell of musty, moldy, crusty, dusty things. So when you're leaving your dishes in the sink with remnants and scraps of food and the smell of food, and you wake up in the morning and you walk into your kitchen and there is that stale smell, understand that they are entities, low-frequency entities, that absolutely love those smells. So they come in thinking you've left them an offering. Are you hearing me? You guys, the spiritual world is just beautiful. They come in thinking you've left them a nice offering. And they come and they feast on your decaying chicken bones and your steak fat and your saucepan full of grease that has been sitting on your stove for 3 days because somehow you're too lazy to clean it. They come and they feast on this stuff and they think, oh, we found us a nice home where we get fed. Remember, I said spirits love to be energized. We energize our ancestors with food offerings. Right? You know this. Spiritual offerings that we give our ancestors, whether it be by the river, whether you do a spread of food in your home. That is why you don't leave the food that you offer your ancestors for longer than overnight, because once it starts going rancid and stale, your ancestors aren't coming to do that. Remember, they have human bias. Your ancestors didn't eat stale food when they were living. Why on earth would you leave stale food out for them just because they are now spirits? Your ancestors will flee that place, and in their place will come our friends. So you need to make sure that you're cleaning your dishes before you go to bed. Like I'm saying, if you make it a habit, don't be surprised if in your space you start feeling a heavy presence, because low frequency entities are very heavy. You will feel that heaviness. Low frequency entities come with their own smell. We've talked about this in a video that I did last, where I was talking about the smell of spirits, that spirits have a smell. So you need to clean your houses. If you're one of these people who has a basket full of laundry that sits there for 2 weeks, where your gym clothes are, where your stale socks are, some of you leave your nasty drawers in there, and it creates this nasty mess, well, that's an offering to low frequency entities. They love those smells. They love the smell of junk. They love the smell of gunk. They really do. They will just come and settle in your home with you, and you can cohabit together and share in the nastiness. That is why I always say, when you do your spiritual cleansing of your own body, cleanse your space as well. But it doesn't help you to cleanse your space if you have nasty habits. The water spirits, for those of you ancestrally gifted, you will know this. The water spirits cannot stand filth. They are such pure spirits that if you are an ancestrally gifted person with water spirits, cleaning for you is almost obsessive. Like you're cleaning, you're dusting, because they love cleanliness. Yes, cleanliness is very high vibrational. Most of you know this. Especially if you're one of these lazy types. How often do you allow your space to get to a point where you start to feel depressed and you can't take it anymore? Why? Because that state in and of itself starts to bring your energy down, because it's very low vibrational. The problem with bringing entities into your home like that is, once they're in, they like to settle. They don't then flee. So one way you can make sure that it is your ancestors you are feasting is to keep your space squeaky clean, and when you put fresh food. Because somebody once asked me this question and said, but Gogo, how do we know that it's our ancestors who come for this food? Low frequency entities don't like clean food. Right? They like mess. Which explains... I'm going to get into trouble if I say this. But it explains why our palm-colored friends who don't like to bathe are also low frequency. And they do attract and interact with low frequency entities. You get how where this all goes. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. These people are allergic to water, some of them. And so that funk, that nastiness, and some of us, when we're around them, you can whiff it, you can pong it, it's there. It attracts those entities. They like that musty, crusty, dusty smell. They really do. So is it any wonder then that we see certain behaviors that are very unnatural? Keep your spaces clean. Keep your spaces clean, please. Very important. Clean your house. Give your house a thorough clean. Go to those hotspot areas. I've told people, when you give your house a good clean, you open the windows. Open the windows. Let that mustiness out, please. I know that even in the winter, people don't like opening windows. Please open your windows and allow umoya to circulate. Allow air to circulate and get rid of stale air. Number one, it's not healthy for you to have all that carbon dioxide that's accumulated for days and days. When you have more carbon dioxide than you have oxygen in the air that you are breathing in, that is a problem. So you want to open so that you aerate your space. While you're doing that, clean, get into the corners, clean. Cobwebs, get rid of cobwebs. Cobwebs are terrible things to have in your house. Do you want me to explain why? Show me a bunch of hearts if you want me to explain the spiritual significance of cobwebs in your house, so that you know how everything is spiritual. There are people who, when they want to slow you down in life, they can send a monitoring spirit in the form of a spider. What the spider will do is it will sit in a corner in your house and it will weave a web. Now, if you've ever handled spider web, you know that it's sticky, number one. So anything that is then stuck on the spider web like a fly cannot get off. And the more it struggles to get off, the more entangled it gets in the web. When somebody is trying to slow your life down, when somebody is trying to literally slow your life down, they can use a spider's web in your own home. Once that spider web is woven, it's in a corner, up in the corner somewhere, you don't see it. Suddenly your life starts to stagnate. You feel like you're going round in circles and getting nowhere. The harder you fight or try to move ahead, the more you seem to stagnate and slow down. Alchemy. They use any and everything. And I'm teaching you guys these things in the context of cleanliness so that you clean those corners, get that feather duster and go in those corners and clean. Clean out the dust, clean out the spider webs, clean it all out. Not good things to have in your home. Right? Very important. Your home should have, and for many of you, how do you know also that your house is not entirely clean or that you now have entities in your home? Watch your plant. Watch your plant life. If you have plants that have been thriving and they're doing very well, potted plants in different parts of your house, suddenly they start withering, suddenly the leaves start going. It could be that maybe they've got like a little fungal infection if you've been overwatering them or something. But more often than not, your plants will tell you the state of the air, the state of the spirit in your home. Your plants don't do well. Remember, plants are like us. We are nature. They don't thrive well when there are low vibrational entities around. That is one way you can tell that something is not okay in your home. Especially if you do all the things to fix it, you feed the plant right, you prune it, you do whatever it is you need to do. But here's the problem. The problem is, after you've done all those things, your plant is still not okay. Take your plant out of your house. I'm talking about a house plant, but take it out, put it outside for one day, you'll see that plant recover. That'll tell you that the air inside your home is not okay, which could indicate that there is the presence of low vibrational entities in your home. You get? So very important. What else could I tell you about the whole cleanliness thing? I'm trying to think of other little anecdotes I can tell you that can give you a sign that things are not okay in your home. People suddenly fighting. People suddenly fighting. Say you generally all get along and everybody is on an even keel. Living the living family life. Say maybe it's you and your kids, or maybe you, your partner, kids, whatever. And suddenly you're all bickering and fighting to the extent that after a big old fight, you're asking yourselves, what just happened here? Usually indicates the interference of low frequency spirits. Another thing you can watch to see is your animals. If you have pets, particularly cats. Cats are very spiritual animals. And most low frequency entities don't like being in spaces where cats are, because cats see them and cats chase them. They don't like cats. Sekhmet, right? We're talking about the energy of Sekhmet in cats. So when your cat starts acting weird, when your cat sometimes starts darting around the room like somebody, how when you've got like those toys, those cat toys, which if you whip around the room, the cat darts after it. When your cat starts doing that and there's absolutely nobody except you and there's no toy, playing and your cat is darting from corner to corner and darting from corner, there's spirits in your house, and they're not good spirits, because cats are generally very peaceful around good spirits. If those spirits are negative, your cat gets very agitated and wants to fight. You see the hairs on the back of her neck will rise, the heckles, like, and the eyes. You know when cats are ready to go to war. Yeah. And then she's darting up and down. That's an indication that, yes, when they're staring at nothing, it's okay. Because it could be that they're seeing a spirit, but it's not necessarily a negative spirit. When they get upset and they want to chase, that is a sign that there are negative entities, negative spirits. That's the time to light up your Palo Santo and clean your house if your house is not clean. Clean the house if your house is not clean, please. Also, shoe cupboards. Hey, you people and your nasty smelling shoes. That is a nice sanctuary for negative entities. So add your nasty smelling shoes in some musty cupboard somewhere, or your sneakers unwashed, or your especially sneakers and your house shoes that you've worn for 5 years. And you've never washed them and they're smelly, and you go into that closet, the closet that nobody wants to go into because when you open it, it smells of feet. Well, that's a nice haven for low entity spirits. Add that to your dirty dishes. You've literally created a playground. Listen, you have created paradise. You have created a beachside or suicide resort for these entities. They're not going to leave. Clean your houses, wash your clothes, clean your houses. Seriously, you know. And clean your houses, or and don't invite me to your houses. If you know you're nasty, don't even, because I will tell you right there and then and go, ooh, you live like this. It's not good for your spirit. It's not good for your pets. It's not good for your plants. And it's definitely not good for your physical and spiritual well-being to live with dirt. Those ones who lived in caves, do you see how they ended up eating each other? They ended up eating each other. They ended up doing all sorts of things with each other because it was nasty in there and it was dirty. Can you imagine the entities and spirits that were in those caves that were now making them to do incest and making them to do... Do not be like those orders. Please. Clean your house. Otherwise, you will be like them. And if you become like them, you are no friend of mine. If you become like them, don't. Even if you saw me on the street, run, because I'm allergic. So please clean up, guys. Please clean up. Just take time to clean up. I know that people are busy with work and stuff, but you are spirit beings. So I'm teaching you these things so that you understand how we live as spiritual people. Dirt is not our thing. No, never. That is why it is very, very sad for me when I am in South Africa and I am in Soweto or I am in some such place with work and I see the dirt on the streets. I see the piles of garbage and the smells that are coming. That is like a nice haven for negative entities. Is it any wonder that so many of our brothers and sisters are sick? Is it any wonder that so many of our brothers and sisters in those spaces have violence in them? Is it any wonder that think of all the vices that you can think of that are a problem in the Black nation? You find them in those concentrated spaces. It was done with design. Even in our neighborhoods, if we, street by street, decided that, you know what, we're going to clean our streets, we can't live like this. You know, there are certain things that we can also assist ourselves. Littering. You're eating a bag of chips. Why don't you actually feel fear or shame throwing that on the ground and adding to that mess? Because we have become like them. The idea was to dehumanize us to the point where we are like them, so that they can pretend they are better than us. But for us, spiritually, it's not good. It's the same when we go to rivers to cleanse people, and you get there and you find, dead chickens, you find candle wax, you find plastic wrappers. People have been bathing with milk and eggs. There are eggshells everywhere. There are milk cartons everywhere. Black Nation, why? Why are we like this? We are nature itself. Imagine what Great Mother feels when you are polluting worse than the people who have enslaved us. It's like we become foreign to her. We become unknown to her because it's like, nah, these can't be my children, never. Because we respected nature. When you leave a sacred space like that, and I come with clients to do work, how do you think I and my ancestors and the ancestors of these people feel when we get there? And the place is so messed up, the first thing we have to do is clean it before we can start work. Because I understand the spiritual ramifications of trying to do light work in a space that is dirty. It's very difficult to spiritually keep away low frequency energies when the space is dirty. That is why we use flowing water, not stagnant, dirty water to do cleanses. Because stagnant, dirty water or stagnant water invites low frequency entities. Living water, as we call it, which is water that bubbles and flows, or water at the ocean, we call that living water. Because it is clean. You can put somebody in there and they can come out healed. Put somebody where there are low frequency entities, they can come out and take those low frequency entities home. Which is why we do certain rituals and certain incantations to push them out of the way and create a portal of cleanliness, of purity, in which then we can put somebody to cleanse them. It's very important. And we have a lot of healing to do, Black Nation. That's why even when I come to you and I talk about simple things like clean your house, I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm instructed to do. I was told to come and talk about cleanliness today because clearly she sees. Clearly she sees. Great Mother sees that we have some healing to do when it comes to that part. We have normalized, once again, this normalization of things that are not normal and that are not natural to us. It is not natural to us not to bathe. It is not natural to us not to clean our homes or to clean our streets. Even if you live in a shack, it doesn't matter. I know people who have such terrible living conditions, but when you go to that place, you can see that there is somebody with self-love. There is somebody who cares about themselves and their space and their environment is clean. Where if somebody offers you food or offers you a glass of water, you don't hesitate to drink it because you can see that, no, this is a clean space. Very important, family. Very, very important to understand this. I think that's one initiative that, when I'm next home, I'd really like to discuss with people on the ground. Because sometimes people learn by example. All it takes is a group or a street saying, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to clean our streets. Even if it's just once a week, every Saturday or every Sunday, we all wake up, we take out our outside brooms and we sweep and we sweep and we clean and we collect the rubble and we dispose of it appropriately. Not that you take all the garbage and all the junk and you go and look for a nearest dump to go and add to the dirt and the junk that's there. There are people who walk nearest dump to go and add to the dirt and the junk that's there. There are people who walk at night in these spaces who will tell you of the scary entities that they come across and they meet. Why is that? They'll tell you that I was walking by a rubbish heap, one of those rubbish heaps where everybody throws their Pampers, their mango seeds, their rotten vegetables. And they were passing there and they saw entities, low frequency entities, ghosts, Imkov. They like hanging out in spaces like that. We need to keep our spaces clean, family. And the reason I'm talking about starting with your space, going into community space, going into sacred space, is because it is all interconnected. The same way as I've said to you guys, you cannot spiritually cleanse yourself and your house is not cleansed. Because if there's any spiritual entities or debris in your space, you're going to end up with the same low vibrational energy, feeling depressed, your things are stuck because you have not cleansed your space. You cleanse yourself, they'll move away from you for a little bit because they're like, oh my God, she's clean. Oh my God, ooh, she's too squeaky clean. Then as the cleanse wear off, and it'll wear off quicker because you're surrounded. Remember, these are spirits, umoya. It's in the ether. It's in the very air that you breathe. You end up surrounded and dirty again. It's the same. If you clean your house, your home, but your house, your home, sits in a community of filth and dirt and garbage, what have you done? You see, family, how interconnected the Black family is. When I say, if I am not well, you are not well either. If I am well, then you are also well. We are only as healthy as the unhealthiest in our community. This individualism, we need to forget about it. It for us, with this communication molecule called melanin, this decoder of information called melanin, forget it. We are as connected. We may as well just be one entity, one thing. Because that's really what we are in the spiritual. So me teaching you about these things is because whether I like to believe it or not doesn't change the fact that I too am affected. My kids are affected. Your kids are affected. The neighbor's kids are. We are all interconnected. And so your struggle has to be my struggle. My struggle has to be your struggle. Your miserable kids are my miserable kids. My miserable kids are your miserable kids. Same fanana, same difference, 6 no 9. 1 and 1. We are inseparable. So we have to understand that interconnectedness. And therefore, when we do things, even if you do it individually, always remember you're part of a collective. You cleanse your house, you clean your everything. They come, they do spiritual tailoring of your home. But if Gogo next door has a billion infene and the guy behind you has snakes and omantindane, and the one house next door in front of you, next door opposite, as people like to say, that one has flying snakes, how protected are you? Because the environment that you're living in is full of low frequency entities. Believe you me, eventually that stuff will affect you too. So I hope that I've made my point. It is the full moon, a time for purging and cleansing and release. Clean your homes. Clean your homes. It does you no good to do Gogo's rituals if your house is dirty. Clean your house. How about you clean your house first before you do your rituals? You have tonight for ritualing, you've got tomorrow and the next day. use tonight to clean your house. Get yourself some bottles of water, put it out, get some moon water, get that in your house. Use a little bit of your moon water in your bucket to mop your floors. Bring in that fresh, clean energy into your home. Chase out those negative spirits. While you are sweeping, you are also tell them to get the hell out. Get the hell out. And then burn your things. Burn your inyamazane, burn your palo santo or your sage to clean your space. Now the space is clean. Now sit down and do whatever ritual you're going to do. Some of you did an abundance rituals. If y'all did it in a dirty home, don't come tell me, go, your abundance ritual didn't work. If you did it in a dirty home, of course it's not going to work. That is stagnant energy. How are you supposed to bring in the powerful energy of abundance, which is very high vibrational, in a very low vibrational space? Some of y'all have these entities literally sitting on your manifestations. Like, because misery loves company. They want you miserable like they are. That's why it's never good to stay low vibrational for too long, because misery loves company. They'll see you miserable like that. Your spirit is low. Your aura is all, you're not radiant. They're like, she needs company. Let's go hang out with her. And then they'll come and hang out and they stay. And then you feel more miserable. And then more of them will be like, they'll be like, hey, come join the party. Come join the party. She's really miserable over here. Oh, no, you've got 50,000 entities all around you in your misery. They are feeding off of your low frequency energy because that's what they like, and you become more and more low frequency. Hi, Bo. Never sit too long in negative emotions. Never sit too long in a dirty house. On that note, Slack Nation, I love you. Till the next time. Let's in.